What's up, dudes? Welcome back to another episode of Rhomas Men's Team. Pretty simple. We are a group of guys helping each other make progress towards each other's goals. If you're new to the channel, awesome and welcome. If you want to help support the channel and join our pro team, head over to romasteam.com/pro, where you can contribute to us on a donation basis. We also give you access to exclusive content, mastermind groups, etc., etc. So anyway, hope you enjoy this episode, and we'll see you on the team.
We are here. What's up, bro? Wes, what's up? We were just chatting, and I was like,
what's up, man?
Let's get into it, dude. Sometimes we get to chat, and I'm like, I forget we're even doing this. Also, girl alert, my wife is in the basement. This is not a safe space. My wife is in the basement.
How's Britt doing?
She's good. Britt, how are you doing?
Huh?
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
She's great. But yeah, man, this is last week was nice, man. How was your Thanksgiving? How did this? I was thinking about this actually the last couple of days. How did the meal go off?
It went great. My mom ended up taking off the day before, so I only did a small portion of what I was thinking, but I did do a cheesecake like I did last year. There's a little too much lemon in it, which baking is very heavy, like chemistry based, So it's like, why the hell did it taste like too much lemon? I swear I did the same exact recipe, and I, as you could probably imagine, like I'm a stickler for the recipe. Like I will not veer off it even an inch. And I don't know. I guess the lemon was a little too potent this year.
Yeah, it was a potency of the lemon. You got a sour one. Yeah. I'm sure there are people who kind of enjoyed it. I'm a lemon head. If it goes heavy on the lemon, I'm kind of delighted. Oh
yeah, no. So a lot of people they loved it. I just particularly, I'm not a big lemon fan.
Yeah.
So. It wasn't that it was bad, but I wouldn't choose to eat it. My mom made a killer carrot cake, dude. Carrot cake is my fool.
Yeah, that's also. It's also a lot more. Carrot cake's a lot more of a forgiving medium for cooking too, because it's like you can add so much cinnamon. All that. Those are. Those are the warmer flavor profiles that I'm pretty fond of.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, man. So how about you? How was yours?
It was good. We just went to my aunt's house. Standard stuff, and then. Got back and we just chilled out. We had like 3 days where we just kind of basically all hung out and just stayed here.
That's
nice.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Nice.
So basically from like
and you said you still got all your stuff done.
Yeah, I got it done in the beginning of the week. I like finally banged out all these projects that have been kind of piling up on me and just giving me the heebie-jeebies that they weren't getting out, and finally got them going. So I feel good. I'm back on top of the solo cast for the Patreon. We had dealing with some bullshit from YouTube. Someone gave us a copyright claim, but it's turning out to be that I don't think it's a legitimate one. So I got to do some more stuff. They struck down our channel. So we're doing.
Oh, snap!
Yeah, I mean it's no big deal. We're gonna release an episode today through via other means, but I think it's just a pain in the butt, man. So we're gonna get I got to do some administrative stuff to get the thing sent out. So emailing YouTube's not the easiest thing, but they're so we're pretty good. I think we're good to go. It's just I need to send my case, and after that it's up to the person. If they want to try to sue us, they can. But it's I literally have them dead to rights committing a fraudulent copyright thing through somebody else we know. They try to strike them down. It was a Clips channel with our stuff. It's clips of us talking, and they try to own copyright of that and strike that channel down. It was just like, all right, clearly this is fraudulent. So.
Oh, interesting. So so the guys can learn as well. So your stuff you put up on YouTube as a clip, or you played it on TV or on a TV or something like that. Is that correct?
No. So we put our podcast up on YouTube, and someone struck our episodes. If you get 3 strikes, YouTube suspends you and says indefinitely. And if you can't prove that it's not copyright fraud, or if you can't prove that you weren't taking people's stuff, then they'll just delete your channel. So all your stuff is just gone, which is bad because we have a lot of stuff on there. But what happens is you can file an appeal. So it's like our stuff was live on our YouTube channel. Some guy claimed we used their stuff, and it just took our channel. We had no chance to fix anything, or it was just everything was gone. So we're like, what the hell? Whoa. So I'm looking into this thing. I'm like, I don't even know what they're claiming we took. So then I'm looking around, and all of a sudden the guy who runs a channel, just takes clips of our show and puts them up. And, and everything's fine. Everyone loves the clips. It wasn't even Radio Dogs. It was a different guy. Torius Peepop. He puts up clips of our show, and they've been doing well. And then the same guy who copyright struck us struck him. But it's like the clips he has are literally just me and Shane talking. There's no way this guy can own that. Like, there's no way. That guy has a viable copyright claim to that clip channel. So it's kind of like proofs in the pudding that he's putting out bogus claims via that thing that I have screenshots of, sending that to YouTube. And then it's kind of like, which I'll do through a lawyer, of like, send me proof that this guy, like, send me the proof of what that we've taken from this guy. And if he can't furnish that proof, our stuff has to be restored immediately. And if that person wants to counter, he'll have to see us. He'll have to go to in court. YouTube steps out of it, and they're like, "All right, go to court if you want to. We're out of it. Channel's back up." So it's just bullshit, man. I think people do that, and then they strike you down, and then they'll send you an email being like, "Give us $2,000 and we'll put it up." It's nonsense.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So just to shed some light on this, so I'm taking a YouTube kind of business course right now, and I'm not going to say the guy's names just out of kind of protection, because I don't know all the ins and outs of this stuff. But this guy he and his partner have 4 million subscribers, and they do a lot. And Matt, I think I've already told you this, and I've showed you some of their videos. They do a lot of like taking clips from Hollywood movies. And I was like, how the hell is that even possible? Like, I thought that was the exact right, like breaking the exact law. So from what he said, and they work with attorneys, like, you can imagine how much money they make with 4 million subscribers. He said, as long as it's kept under, he said 30 seconds, if you want to be safe, under 20 seconds. And he said that every once in a while they'll get dinged, and then they push back on YouTube, and then they're fine. So I don't know. There's leeway for educational stuff under there's like a thing called fair use that's kind of nebulous. So you can do you can claim fair use if you're like, well, it's educational, it's artistic, it's this or that. But it's like, we have no clue, because they literally took our channel down. So I'm like, I don't even know what you guys are claiming is not. So it's no big deal. I mean, we'll figure it out. It's just like, it's a pain in the ass, dude. And again, it's like I'm a squeaky wheel, or I guess I don't know if that's the right thing, but in terms of the meditation, man, it's like starting to do that is the biggest thing in the world, because that could have turned that's such a meltdown of like, oh my god, and it was just the whole time was pretty much like, all right, we'll see what happens, and it's been going pretty well. So well, and then what are you and Shane, if you don't mind me asking, are there any business lessons you're taking away from it?
I mean, we're going to be pretty, like, I'm going to be pretty tight with because we'll, like, take clips, like, for our intros, we'll just take clips of stuff and, like, throw it up there and mix it and throw music up there. So we're going to be pretty tight with all that stuff, because what I thought YouTube does is, YouTube does do this. They run the check and they say, hey, you guys are good to go. This thing came up, but it's all good. Like, don't worry about it. And it's like, all right, cool. But then this guy came and struck us down. And like I said, luckily the fatal flaw was the fact that he kind of struck a channel down that he for sure doesn't own the content to. So that stuff of like, if you have a YouTube channel you're really using, it's like the copyright stuff is like I was like, fucking who cares? Like, it'll be fine.
That's so interesting.
To get struck down like that, I was like, shit. So so definitely keep it all in the up.
Well, and then I would just throw out,
or just consult an attorney, like you were saying. Sorry, just like the other thing too, I didn't want to forget this. It's like, dude, there's a reason people have attorneys. Like, consult an attorney and like work with them, especially if you're like doing it commercially. It's like they're worth their weight.
Well, that, and then just another thing I would throw out to you, nothing that you don't already know, but maybe some of the guys can learn from. Like, you diversify up to a critical mass.
Yes.
Like, always, and that's just like tried and true business operational stuff. But a lot of people don't do it, especially like in the internet world, because people, and I've got some clients as well, who have found so much success in like one domain, but then something like this can happen where it's like, boom. Now you guys will come out on the other side of this, but some people, right, like they operate off of one platform and then they're done. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to even think about. So it's like, if we were all on the same team, I'd say like, hey, like, how do we just so we prevent something like this again. Obviously, we'll correct whatever issues they take issue with, but then, oh shit, maybe this was like a good little taste of like, well, what if that platform does go away for whatever reason in the future?
Yeah, man. That's the big one too, of like having all the backups, putting them on different mediums, just have like on different places too. I was always wondering, like, why do people put it on like this, that, and this? And I'm like, it's so crazy. But it's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Well, and the biggest thing that I've noticed is, and I've gotten coaching from and everything, and I don't even do this because it's more of like a brick and mortar thing that I do full time. But they always say emails, right? Like that is almost the truest version of like you having as close to an untouchable thing as you're going to have, so like, do you have an email list where everybody, God forbid, if one of the platforms went down, where you could email and communicate with everybody saying, hey, we're now on this platform, we're now going to do Zoom, we're now going to do all that kind of stuff. So just some things to think about there.
That makes sense as well. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Well, nice.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. But yeah, definitely we'll figure it out going forward. We'll definitely kind of safeguard that. That was, I mean, it was not like the end of the world, but it's like, God damn, that sucks. All of our stuff and it's just a pain in the ass. So
yeah, well, it's a good obstacle for you guys to build strength to overcome. You will for sure overcome it.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And it's it's good. It's now it's funny. I was completely mystified by all of the YouTube standards, and now I've looked into a lot of them, and I'm like, okay, cool. I think I know how to like wiggle around these things and like operate within the bounds in a way where it's not like we have to play like Muzak and all that other stuff.
Got it. Cool.
So, but yeah, man.
Yeah. I wanted to throw, if you're good at me saying this, Matt, if anybody wants to come on and share either the goals they have for the week or anything like that. But I've got a topic that I'm running into now, which is like, made a certain amount of progress with jiu-jitsu. I got my first, what do you call it, stripe or whatever.
Nice.
Like they put like the thing on there.
Yeah, the notch. It's quick. That was quick for the stripe.
Well, I've been trying to stay on it like pretty hardcore. With the caveat, now my knee is like super bothering me, and it's like that classic, do you go with the old school Philadelphia like Vietnam vet who says like, just a knee, you got another one, like that sort of thing, or do you say, all right, let me explore this, like what is it, because I don't want to regret it. Like it's the whole like, are you hurt or are you injured sort of thing. So I'm struggling with that, and that led me to a lot of research. And it's like, for all the guys who are listening, including you and I, Matt, how can we prehab the most vulnerable spots on our body? I would probably put that as like shoulders, back, and knees. That's my best guess. Like shoulders, back, and knees. They probably make up 95% of the injuries that I've personally heard about. So I'm now starting to do like a lot of research around like that kind of stuff. So just throwing it out there, everybody, if you've been lifting a lot, like growing up or doing whatever, or maybe not, and you've never balanced out your body, I'd highly recommend going and like researching knees, backs, and shoulders, specifically rotator cuff, which I think is a group of 4 muscles. So like strengthening all those, because man, a fucking injury, man, it's just like all of a sudden it could knock you out for months, if not a year.
Yeah, or just create something you have to deal with for the rest of your life. Like it sucks. But yeah, that's the I don't know if this is legit or not. I've been watching this thing, and this guy talks about the benefits of like, for your shoulders specifically, of just hanging from a pull-up position. Of just kind of like doing one of these for like like a minute or so. But yeah, that's something that's funny you say that, because I've been really focused on like that similar stuff of like making sure I stretch. I'm trying to come up with a quick and effective stretching regimen every day. So that's just so, and like you were saying, just working the joints. I think what is it? I forget how to say it. Qigong or whatever that stuff's called. It's like QIC.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
That's a lot of that's like joint mobility stuff, where you just kind of you're lubing up the joints by moving stuff around and kind of like pivoting like your hips and your wrists and your shoulders and all that.
Yeah.
But I would say, dude, for me, this is my experience. The losing a couple pounds, man, helps big time. Whenever I have back problems, like shit's just not feeling right. Like if I drop like 5 to 7 pounds, like a lot of that stuff starts to go away.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
no, I completely agree.
I'll be curious to see what you come up with. So I know you kind of research stuff in depth. So that's like that's stuff you don't think about, and then you start getting a little older. You're like, yeah, that would suck if my shoulder stopped working. Like, that would be a big pain in the ass. Like, I need that thing to go. So yeah, man, I swear to God, man, just a little fucking like movements. Like Gibbons said, he stretches 90 minutes a day. That's awesome. So it's like, yeah, that's throwing that up to if people want to follow that along. That'd be tight. I've recently just pulled in a little thing. I have my pull-up board. I don't know if you guys can see. This is my. Where is it? God damn it, come here. Give me some more slack here. That's my push-up board. So that now, you see that thing right there? Man. You can put it in a bunch of different positions. So that's positioned strategically right where my computer is. So like when I come down here to work, I have to step over that thing. So that's the toll. So I step over, I have to hit 10. If I want to leave my workspace, got to hit 10. And dude, it's been awesome. Oh,
the toll, that is nice.
That's the toll.
Dude.
I have to pay the toll every time if I move from here, go anywhere, got to pay the toll. Sometimes I'll fill up the easy pass. I'll hit like 40, and I'm like, all right, I can go back and forth a couple times.
Can I throw something out to you?
Sure.
So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Remember how I had to stop the push-up challenge last year because, like, dude, I'm warning you right now, right? Like, just as a friend to a friend, if you don't counterbalance those movements with some sort of equivalent pulling movement, like, just get ready 2 years from now for an injury. I could almost guarantee it. And specifically, I know I think it was Gunther who said something about the hanging, and you said something about the hanging. Yes, and like there is no getting around. You must strengthen your rotator cuff. Like there is no way around it because your shoulder is like a ball and socket, and once you start to pull this thing too much forward and too far up, it starts to hit against the walls. So the only way to rebalance is to have something stronger, pulling it back down.
Thank you. Yeah, dude, actually it's funny. I totally agree because I did like those crazy push-up challenges where it was like 250, 300 a day. Yeah. And my shoulder started to definitely hurt. The thing that I've been enjoying for the like this movement is the rowing machine at the gym. I love that thing. Hell so I'll go do that for a couple, but I that's something I still need to nail down, dude, of like a daily regiment of like I want to start going to the gym 5 days a week. It's just fitting it in the schedule is fucking difficult. So
yeah, no, I get it, man, dude. Also, something to throw out there. Have you seen Tonal?
Yes, I have actually. Brittany talks about that. Is that thing? She brought it up. I was like, is this thing legit? Is it bullshit? Like, what's the deal? So
I know two people who have it out here. I actually funny enough, I asked the guy last night if I could do a workout with him in his garage. He has the Tonal. So for those of you who don't know, Tonal, if you've ever seen like the Lululemon mirror, like it's just a mirror on a wall, but then it has like a screen behind it so you can do like yoga alongside of it. Well, the Tonal's like that, so it looks like a big mirror, big rectangular mirror that you anchor to your wall. But then it's got these two arms that have a cable pulley system anchored inside of it. So if you can imagine at the gym where you have your pulleys where you can move the arms to do like chest workouts or whatever, shoulder workouts, back workouts, etc. So now the difference with the Tonal is there's no weight. It's just all electronic software based. So it's pretty fascinating. So I had the same question. I was like, oh, is this BS or not? So I need to I will do a workout with that guy this weekend and I will let you know. But that to me, I mean, if I would consider getting it, I mean, that's a full freaking gym, like on your wall. You know, it doesn't take any more. It's literally a fraction of the size of a dresser, you know, that you can anchor in your basement ceiling or whatever. So it's pretty interesting. Gunther's saying it's pretty expensive. I think it's like $3,000 and then like 30 a month or something like that.
So is it like interactive, like the Peloton, basically? Like, do you get to compete with people, or you just get to do like live trainings?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if it's live trainings, but I know it like keeps all of your data. So like, and then I also think it can increase your eccentric movement. So it can you can do a bicep curl and then it'll increase the resistance on the way down, I think. So I'll let you know. But I would definitely consider getting it.
Yeah, that's we were kicking around like a Peloton or that. Like just something, again, it's like we had and I'll be honest, we had a elliptical in our basement for a while, and like there's something about those things in your basement, they just like I can't use it. Like I'm in my basement all day and it's like, all right, time to do my elliptical in my basement. It's like, but I've the Tonal I checked out and I was like, well, I'll do a little more research, because it would be nice if I have something I can go hit real quick and go, like I don't have to walk somewhere or do that. Like I really do need to build that in. That's part of the things that I genuinely dropped the ball on this year in terms of like my goals and all that stuff of like like, yeah, I've maintained, obviously. I haven't like backslid, or like I've done well, like losing weight. That was a good thing. But like, I'm really trying to get to the point where it's like, I'm ripping 20 pull-ups. It's like I'm just like in really, really, really good shape. So it's like I didn't hit that this year. So, that's on the board for next year. It's like I want to get in like really good shape.
So for 2022?
Yeah. Just really good shape.
Yeah,
like
dude.
It's like I just want to be able to like run like I was at the point where I was like I could run 3 miles. I was getting there, and then it like I'm not like blaming it on the COVID stuff. It was just that I like fell off the exercise, got back on it really hard, and then I've just been off on. I want to set put it in my day. Like I'm still wrangling my daily schedule. It's like, it's infinitely better, but I'm trying to get the thing down kind of like clockwork. So,
well, that's the beautiful thing, man. It's like the daily schedule is just, it's a canvas that like you keep on painting with washable paint. And it's like, so you only get that immovable 10 by 10 canvas, and this obviously 24-hour canvas. And it's like, okay, how the hell do you optimize it? And I hope that is a lifelong, never-ending battle.
Sure. No, absolutely. But yeah, also Chuck Gondos was saying with the BJJ, the upper back neck pain, that was the thing that got me, man. My neck gets hurt easily, and dude, that was like getting neck pain fucking sucks.
Who was saying that? Chuck?
Chuck Gondos. He was saying that's like the knees I've heard happen a lot, but that like up here because you're constantly like kind of like going like that, and like people are grabbing you.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I think there's a way to do it where it's like, I mean, and especially if you talk to people, it's like, can I just drill? Can I just, if you just sit there and if you just don't roll, if you like do the drills, go through the movements, then when it's time to live roll, it's like, all right, I'm out until that knee heals. I think there is a way to work through it. It's just like you were saying, like, it's trying to avoid that. Like, I want to power through this, and now it's like 10 years from now, your knee is just pretty much always hurting constantly. Yeah,
I'm gonna go to a physical therapist this week, but I feel like it's like burning, a little burning right now.
Yeah.
So there's something going on. But we'll see. And in terms of the neck, it was that same guy I saw in the comments. He said he has multiple knee surgeries.
I don't know.
I think he said that. So that's
yes. You're right. You're right.
Brutal, dude.
You're absolutely right.
Chuck, I feel bad for you, brother. That knee surgery. That's what I want to avoid. But I am going to look into the iron neck. Have you seen that thing? That Rogan uses, like this halo thing. So I'm going to look into that as well.
But yeah, no, I totally agree, and that is something too. Again, like you can do that with should I get back to jiu-jitsu? How do you do this or that? It's like I've been really trying to exercise moderation, where it's like rather than I have these spurts where it's like I'm like all out in the gym, then I don't. I'm trying to just be slow and steady, but very, very consistent, and it's like getting better at that. But it's like that's definitely the challenge that I've been kind of continually going through. I'm just getting more and more disciplined and more kind of on track, on point, and kind of more fluid. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I think there's definitely something to, if you want to go, you have to learn how not to stop, like, or how to like, it's like keep going and prevent the things that will stop you from going.
Yeah.
Unfortunately there's like forks in the road. Like right now it's like, oh shit, like how hard do I go? Like all that kind of stuff. So no, I totally get it. And then a common occurrence comes up with men and going to the gym when they're sick. That's just a pure example. Like you start feeling a little runny nose or something, and you're like, oh, fuck this, I'm going to grind my way through. I know a guy doing it literally today. He's been sick for like the last week. He's like, fuck that, I'm just going to go tomorrow. It's like, okay, right? Is that going to work? That's the plan? And then all of a sudden you're out again for another week.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's just, that's something that usually kind of bites me. I've been pretty good, dude. I'm keeping the streak going, man. It's like, I like last night I was up from 4:30 in the morning to like 6:30 doing stuff with I was like teething. So it's like that's the one thing too. I'm being patient with myself because my sleep really is unpredictable. Like I can lay in bed at 9 p.m. and it's like I might be up for 3 hours in the night. I don't know. So it's like that's the one thing that I know there's a direct correlation between levels of sleep and my working out. But yeah, man, that's like. I have really not gotten sick yet, and it's like, dude, my sleep. I go to bed on time, thank God, but it's like I have not gotten the best sleep in the last couple of years, and it's it's really been helping to like just kind of really not do that like dickhead shit. If I feel like I'm getting kind of tickly of like going to the gym, or like if I don't feel well, like I'll just go out tonight. It's like I don't do any of that, and dude, it really helps big time.
And Scotty's saying ZMA helps. And ZMA gives me like crazy ass dreams.
I take ZMA every night.
Oh, do you really?
I have zinc and magnesium, and I just take them before I go to bed.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. I had a really cool dream last night. Actually, it was lucid. I woke up realizing I was walking into a hotel room with no door number, and then like as I opened the door, it was just nothing, and then I was just in my room like, holy fuck, that was crazy. Pretty neat.
Nice.
But yeah,
so
dude.
What's the goals for this week? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's literally what I was about to talk about. The goals this week, I am going strictly stand-up based, where it's like I have a show Friday, a show Saturday in North Carolina, and like I'm really going to, because I'm spread out. I'm doing the Psych-Null stuff, I'm doing this and that. I am going to do the solo cast this week for sure, but for the most part, it's just I'm going to fully take care of myself, get sleep, rest up, go to the gym, like really intensively kind of memorize all my material and stuff, be like fully as prepared as I can possibly be for the thing that I got to go do, and then eke out one of those little solo casts with Patreon. So my week is just really kind of like getting the house set up because I'm going to be gone, so like making sure I have all the food. I'm going to like get this so when I'm gone for 2 days, there's like Brittany's not worried about anything, everything's taken care of, and I'm going to go do my thing, do it properly, and then just come home Sunday. So the main goal is prepare for stand up, get the house situated, and just kind of not run myself ragged, like take care of myself.
Hell yeah, awesome! I love it, dude. For me, I'm fully back in action, and this year we had our best year, and my goal next year is to personally do what the business collectively brought in last year. So I'm ramping up for that. Like that's my personal goal. So like just to put it in context, when I first started, the firm was bringing in about about $3 million a year in new assets. Now this year, it looks like we're going to close at $1 million per week, which is like just crazy. It's like can't imagine that. It's wild.
So that's a big, that's crazy.
Yeah. So when I first came, and I'm not bragging, it's all a result of just like researching, studying, and then implementing, blah, blah, blah. But, so we were bringing $3 million when I first got there. Now this year we brought in $50 million. So it's a very large difference. So, but I think I can do that next year, like me alone. And then the other teammates keep doing what they're, so that's the goal. I think I can do that. It's a massive, massive goal. But I think I can pull it off.
So this is a question. How do you stay kind of like level-headed amongst like, that would be very marked success. How do you stay grounded and not get kind of lost in the sauce of it?
Oh, dude. Well, I think there's a couple things. Number one, I love the game. Like that's why I tell her, like, play the game that you love, because it's kind of like if you like playing basketball, the trophy that you got last year is irrelevant to, like, you immediately want to get the trophy next year. Like you take a week off, you go home for Thanksgiving, you're like, oh, that's cool. You buy your family some cool stuff. Like, but then I couldn't wait for today. Like I couldn't sleep on Saturday night because I was going to fly home. It's like, I want to get the fucking game started again. So I think that's probably the biggest thing is after you make a certain amount of money, and this, right? Like after you make a certain amount of money, it doesn't mean anything. Like there's literally, I have had the experience, as I'm sure you have as well, and maybe some of the guys as well. Like, I've been in the place where, like, you're waiting for the big check to hit the bank account, and then, like, literally, like, wait, like, keep on refreshing my screen, Yeah. And it's like, oh, cool. I'll give the real example. So, like, there was one time where I made $35,000, and that was in a week, and that was my cut for the week. Yeah. And that was the largest amount of money I've ever made in my entire life in that short of a time period. And I remember like refreshing. Yeah. And I was like, and then it happened. And then I was like, 4 minutes later, like, what do you keep on looking at it? Like there is no utility after that. So, and then I was like, okay, I'll go keep on playing the game. And it's just been that ever since, right? Like I was keep on playing the game. Now, like, is real gut check time, because my mom might be she's renting, so she might be getting kicked out of her house. at some point. So now that lights a new fire, like almost a revenge fire back in me. And I've got some dark spirits inside of me. Like that's usually my motivators, and that's like sparking up some demons. And it's like, fuck this. Like, so now I need to calibrate some things and really hit on a high level. Like, so that's the first part of the answer. And then the second part of the answer is like the business that I'm in, right? Like I make like nothing relative to the people that I see we manage our assets. So when you meet a guy who's worth $300 million,
yeah,
right? It's like, fuck, like that's how high the ceiling goes. And it's not a fuck from a jealousy standpoint. It's like, okay, like this is how high the game can go. And then he's looking at the guy above him, you know? So it's like, it's a never ending thing. So that, I don't know, that I think all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense. And I think you're 100% right, dude. I used to do the same thing when I'd make like $12 an hour. And I'm like, dude, if I made like $80 an hour, all my problems would go away. And then you make, $80 an hour or more, and you go, nope. It's certainly a welcome change. It's not a bad thing, but dude, it really is. Like if you don't have your fundamentals sound, it's like that money's going to evaporate right out of your hands. You'll be right back to square one. So it's like the thing to really focus on, especially if you do get hung up, in my opinion, when I would get hung up on like just like, oh, if I could tweak this little thing or tweak this little that and not change all the stuff that I need to personally change, it's a fool's errand, because it's like that's the thing that really, for me, it wasn't so much of like, like getting to a point where I was like financially stable, like fully, at least as financially stable as I am right now. It's like that wasn't the thing that erased a ton of my like kind of like, let's say, just stuff that was like plaguing my day to day. The thing that actually helped me was like learning by like losing all of my money multiple times, just like fucking up and like just fucking stuff up and then building myself back up. And it's like, that's where I gained, that was the stuff that solved if that makes sense, that was the stuff that kind of solved my problems. Not like, oh sweet, like my bank account has, I have more money now than I had, or like I'm doing good this month. Like I'm always like, oh cool. It's literally, like you were saying, it's like a 4-second thing. I check and I go, ooh. And then you just go, then I'll hear my name from upstairs, like, Matt. I'm like, fucking Christ. And I go upstairs. But yeah, dude, it's really, I cannot hammer that point enough. And it's something I completely whiffed on when I was younger, of just really nailing down the fundamentals, man. Just nailing them down. And I'm not saying like totally like fucked up, but it's like, I'm telling you, nobody wants to hear it. I didn't want to hear it at all. But it's like, that is the thing that is important, of like just sawing through those fundamentals. And even like, with like the mind space stuff, dude, of just like, I thought about this today, again, because I'm constantly up at like 4 a.m, which is a great time to think, dude. At like 4:30, you like finally like lay down at like 5:30, and it's like, I don't know what made me think of this. For some reason, I was thinking of sobriety and how like you get all these dudes who are like sober, which, and I'm not like singling them out. I've said this a million times. This is what I'm doing with Psych Knowledge, like. The AA-NA thing I think is great, and I don't think you should need to have a like active drug addiction or one you're working on to have groups to discuss stuff like that with. Like I think that's like honestly like a travesty that like I feel like you need to be like that, to that level where it's like, all right, I'll finally talk to people and there's finally resources. There should be stuff like that all along every single spectrum of what everyone's doing. But the thing I was thinking of, I don't know how I even got to this, but it was like, so you have people who are like sober, quote unquote, where it's like, I don't do drugs, I abstain from this and that. But in my opinion, and like, people relapse, sometimes people don't. But the thing that I really think being like quote unquote sober would be, and again, I could be completely butchering this, or you might be like, no, I don't agree with that, is like, can you be alone with your thoughts and unbothered by them? Because you can be sitting there all day, not like, I'm not going to do pills, and you're all day long, I'm not going to do pills, and you're still like, fuck that guy, fuck this, I feel like a fucking loser. And it's like, yeah, it's good that you're not on drugs, but that's a lot of people, in my opinion, stop there, and there's this whole other level of just like, can you sit alone? There's a lot of people who don't have quote unquote drug problems, but are like, they can't fucking sit alone with their thoughts. And it's like, dude, that's that was something I was thinking about too. Like, how can you really mentally fortify yourself and like save yourself so much trouble from doing like just weird dumb stuff that like is coming out of the fact that you can't handle certain thoughts, and you jump on certain life paths that are just not productive, and it takes you like 10 years to realize. Like, so much of that stuff comes from the fact that you can't handle yourself, or like you lay down. It's like, I still struggle with this, where it's like, I want to look at my cell phone and like just YouTube myself to sleep constantly. Or it's like I want to watch YouTube, and I have plenty of stuff to watch and plenty of reasons. Like, oh, this is actually good that I'm watching it, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, it's like there's a certain feeling when I lay down. It's like stuff's not done. I feel kind of restless, and I've been forcing myself to like sit with that and just be good with all that stuff. And it's like it's a good thing to start doing. It's a good exercise to do. And I would say that to anyone. If you think like, oh, I need to smoke weed before I go to bed, I need to watch a movie, I need a TV on. It's like turn it off. Turn all that stuff off and just literally lay there in the dark. Even if you got to lay down at 9 o'clock and you don't sleep till 4 in the morning, I guarantee you, I think it'll be a good thing for you to do. And just do it repeatedly.
Oh, without a doubt.
And you can
100%.
break, dude. You can break through. And it's like a subtle thing. You don't have to be like in crisis, But it's like it's something I've been forcing myself to do, and I like it a lot. I sleep better. It's crazy. And I constantly backslide. And like, dude, I was a YouTube hound all last week, and I'm like, enough of this shit. I'm saying back to the basics, But it's like. It's a really the mastering the mind is a very noble quest in my opinion.
And Ray was asking you when you said get back to the fundamentals. He said, "What are the fundamentals for you?"
The fundamentals for me are just like again making sure I meditate every day, making sure I do some sort of physical activity, even if it's just a long walk or like I go for quick runs. So it's like meditating, physical activity, making sure I'm really I spend at least 3 or 4 hours like after work usually where I'm fully present, like I'm not like responding to messages while I'm talking to Brittany, like I'm like fully present with my family and like we're doing an actual activity. So it's like meditating, sleep, I would say. So sleep, fitness, meditation, quality time with people, particularly my family. And then the last one is like getting to that full, like if I can do a successful nighttime, I've been like just starting to do this where it's like I'm just done. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not responding to anything. Like I'm done and I'm just laying in bed. Me and Brittany hang out after Maya goes to bed, but it's like I go to bed with her and I'm just lights out. I'm in the dark whether I'm tired or not. I'm laying down. That for me is like perfect. So the fundamentals is sleep, quality time with relationships, people you love, and exercise, meditation, obviously work, and like just getting out of all the bullshit that it's just like the social media, the news, the YouTubes, the current political stuff. It's just like, dude, I'm just been shutting all that stuff off. I get sucked into it constantly, and I have to like suck myself out of it.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree.
So hopefully that's my fundamentals. Everyone's could be different, but like for me, it's like that's what I need to do. That's what I need to focus on and prioritize.
Yeah, 100%. I can totally understand that. For me, so I use the scorecard, and then I think about Hugh Jackman at least once a week, and I do my Hugh Jackman test. I think a lot of the guys know this, maybe for the new guys. Like I like crystallizing things into like very quick little mental models. So like I can like Matt's toward or away thing like that. I use that constantly too. But my Hugh Jackman test, and I don't know why this is the case, but like that guy to me is just such a fucking beast. So it's like if I were at a dinner table and I were to get up and Hugh Jackman were to sit down in my place next to my future wife, would she even consider like his flirting with her? That's my test. Because she subconsciously would go through the list of saying like, oh, he's fit, he's rich, he knows how to dance, he is right. Like there's a handful of things, right, that she would go down the list. So I go through my exactly Wolverine. Right, fucking Wolverine, right?
You have to saber tooth him.
Yeah. So like that's kind of, I think Gibbons asked a question a little. He's like, how do you balance financial goals and so on? It's like, dude, like you don't want any of those to be out of balance, because I can tell you a whole bunch of rich dudes who can't get women. Right? A lot of guys think like, oh, if I just make a bunch of money, like I'll get any girl I want. Like not really. Like yes, you'll be able to still like check certain females, but Hugh Jackman will beat you. Right? He's not a billionaire, but I guarantee you he would beat out most billionaires. But he also doesn't have $0.
For
right?
sure.
Like he's got millions of dollars, right? So it's like, where are those Goldilocks zones? And that's why I haven't brought this up in a while. Like, if you guys haven't done your vision board, if you don't have your vision board, like print out your vision boards, put them all around you. Like I've got all of that. I'm looking at them all the time to remind myself of like, what are those handful of things that I need to become every single day? And therefore, if I want to become something every single day, I have to do those fucking things every single day. Minimum every single week. That's it. Yep. Right? Like anything that I can't fit inside of a week, I tend not to do. Right? Like it's just like, I don't know, for some reason my brain can't do it. So I know that's my answer to Gibbons and to to Ray.
Hell yeah, dude. I think that's perfect. And that to me is the switch. That's like, it's one thing to talk about. That's like there's a philosophizing aspect of this, like that would be cool, this or that. And like I said, the vision boards, the goal sheet, all that other stuff, and these little mental models are like the thing that kind of flips that switch where it's like now you're actively doing it. You're actively on the path towards whatever you decide you want to be on towards. Dude, I'm telling you, it's life-changing, dude. It's like, it's literally, I think Jordan Peterson talks about this. Like, if you don't have a goal of some sort that's clearly defined for you to work towards, your brain doesn't produce like enough dopamine. It doesn't produce a lot of dopamine or serotonin. One of those two things. I think it's dopamine. But it's like, because if you don't, you put yourself a Pac-Man pellet in the future, and that's kind of, that starts to get the juice flowing where it's like, oh, I'm actually like, your brain can go, oh, you did something today because there's that thing over there, and you kind of nudged the boulder like 4 inches toward it, which feels awesome, dude. It feels so good. And then it's like, as you get closer and closer and you make new ones and you have multiple ones, it's like, it's a absolute life changer, dude. That was the thing that fucking crushed me last week. I saw a statistic that said they finally released drug overdoses in America between 20, and I think this was just opioid overdose. It might be just drugs overall, but it was between 2020 and 2021. How many people do you think died from drug overdoses?
Oh, dude, I have no idea.
During the
US
lockdown,
or the world?
U.S.
Dude, I'm gonna look like an idiot. I have no idea. I'm just gonna say 200,000.
It was 100,000 people. So 100,000 people died.
That's crazy.
100,000 people, dude.
Yep.
It's insane in 1 year from drug overdose. And there's fentanyl and all that other stuff. But dude, it's like, you got to think, man. And this would be, and maybe I'm being dramatic or being a bit of a fearmonger, but like, dude, if you're on that unconscious path, I think I've talked about this before, how like, there's that analogy where like your five senses are like horses pulling a cart, and like there's a guy whipping the horses, which is kind of your mind, and you're the person back kind of like taking survey. If those horses are running the show, it's like they lead to things like that, dude. And it's like, I sound like an old man. It's like, dude, it's like if you just unthinkingly just kind of pleasure your way through life, it's like you could fucking die. Like, obviously any of us can die at any time, but it's like it greatly increases your chances, man. If you're like up to stuff, you're doing stuff, and people are like, hey, let's go do this, let's do that. You're like, I know dudes who got into Percocets at like 32 years old. It's like, you can't do that, man. It's an excuse. Not even like they got surgery and all that stuff. I know dudes who just started partying on them at like 32, and I was just like, what are you doing? What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
What in the world? Like, have you not been following anything the last 10 years? Like, don't do that. And like, dude, you have all these people dying. There's bad pills going around. It's a fucking nightmare.
Oh.
So it's like,
yeah,
like
man,
that
you got to stay on the right path.
Dude, that shit they used to, like, like in the DARE program, they used to be like, oh, you could take one pill once and die. And everyone's like, yeah, whatever. That's real. That happens now. With the fentanyl, they press fake pills, and you could die. You take one pill, you're dead. Dead, dude. Gone. Forever. Dead. Because you wanted to do, like, a rocket set or something. It's like, that's what I'm going to talk about extensively on my solo cast, just how fucking people on opiates need to absolutely stop, dude. They're embarrassing themselves. So 2001. So 2001, dude. You have to fucking, please, dude. Please stop making a mockery of yourself.
Well, the last piece of that, in case anybody is on the edge of thinking like, oh, should I go and dabble? Like, I'm old enough now, like I'm responsible. I literally have a very close friend of the family, and he was very successful, had a very prestigious job in the city, and was like kind of like the person who made it out, and then dabbled with it 2 or 3 years ago. Now is in jail, right? Like, for like charges that are just like crazy, like carrying weapons, like all this kind of stuff. And this is a person who had, you would think like this person's good, but he had addiction running his family, and now it's like, holy shit, I don't want to say his life's ruined, but lost his license to practice law, like all you could imagine. Yeah. Right. So it's like, just don't ever fucking touch this stuff, man. Like, it's kind of how I treat credit cards. For personal use, just don't touch credit cards.
Yeah.
Like, can some people dabble with credit cards, put a little like credit card nose candy up their face? Like, sure. Right. Until they can't.
Yeah.
Right? Until they can't. That's the problem.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. No, and again, my whole point is that, like, when you're on, if you really kind of wrangle the inner resources to, like, have the wherewithal to actually state what you want, to actually go after it, and take the little ridicule of your buddies, like, oh yeah, you're going to be a blah, whatever they're saying, If you're like, I'm trying to actually like move the ball forward and do stuff, you'll get a little pushback. I swear to God, this is like textbook. You get a little pushback, you're kind of ball breaking. People see your little change and think, oh, you're like, well, maybe I should do stuff like that. And then maybe they do it, maybe they stop.
Yep.
But it's like, if you stay on that path, dude, when like these other little things pop up of like, hey, let's do this. Hey, let's go drink on Wednesday for the, again, it's not like a judgment, you're a bad person for this. But if you're on this kind of path, it becomes just not functional. You're like, yeah, I can't, because I got to get up early and I got to do all this stuff. And I can't be hungover. Like, it's just, rather than being like, oh, dude, I was so hammered. Like, I've been on so many job sites. Dude, I tied a load on last night. I was so hammered. It's like, cool. You're 35, dude. It's Thursday. You got drunk last night. Awesome. We're not in fucking high school. Like, I swear to God. And it's like, not to be a dick. It can happen to anyone. I swear to God. But it's also like, if you're really trying to get after it, like, it's not going to help you, dude. It's genuinely not going to help you. If you can pull it off, dude, cool. That's awesome. But that's like, you do a lot of, in my experience, a lot of people do that, and then they get like, man, what the fuck? This is bullshit. This sucks. My fucking manager. It's like, you come in smelling like fucking alcohol. When you're hungover, it's like, people know you're fucking hungover. It smells like alcohol. Yep. And it's like, again, it just, for me, I've fucked around. I've daughtered kind of meaninglessly and indulged all those things, and I've also kind of like been on the ball and like had like more of a zoomed out focus on like, what am I doing? What am I creating? Like Wester, like that whole thing of value creation. You just feel, you genuinely feel better. Then I used to smoke weed all day, every day around the clock. Then you like work towards goals, and it genuinely feels better. Heroin probably feels pretty good. I can't attest to that, but I know people who are like, yeah, it's bad. So yeah.
Ooh.
So it starts, dude. It starts with little things.
Oh yeah. No, I think there's a common theme that we're probably hitting on. It's like, don't go past zero. No matter how many things are bad in your life, like, oh, you might feel lazy, or you still live with your parents, or the girl just dumped you, or you can't get a girl, whatever that is, that will still not put you below zero. There are certain mechanisms that will let you go way past zero. Yeah. That's the problem, right? Credit cards, heroin, right? Like, there's a whole bunch of things that will send you right through the fucking floor, right? And you pop out to China, dude. Like, just don't do those things. And if you're on those things, I know it's a hard path. Figure out whatever you can do. They call it the rule of holes, I think. It's like, first rule of holes is stop digging, So get yourself up to baseline. And the cool thing is, we all have enough energy in us. Call it spirit, call it energy, call it whatever the hell you want. There's enough energy to direct towards positive things where you can become massively successful, in my opinion. But in my opinion, the only things that take away from that energy is stuff that puts you below zero. Chemicals and financially, like unnecessary bad debt. Like those are the things that are coming up for me right now. So whatever is putting you below zero, stop fucking doing it. And if you can't stop doing it yourself, get help so that you stop doing it. Yeah.
That's the biggest one, man. That dude, it really is, man. There's nothing bad with being like, dude, I want to, I don't know how. And it's like, all right, well, like seek the necessary help to do it and go get it. There's not, that whole thing of like, I'm going to do it myself, or I don't need that. It's like, I know so many people who have done that. Oh, this shit doesn't work for me. It's like, flash forward 5 years, especially with the sobriety shit. That shit's fucking gay, dude, and corny as hell. I go to those meetings. I'm not like those. All that bullshit. And it's like, maybe it's not for someone. And there are reasons to kind of try to customize that. But by and large, I know a lot of people who say that. And you flash forward 5 years and you're like, hey, let's check in. How's the whole self-monitored sobriety going? And it's, typically you don't get an answer to their call. They're usually off the grid for a while. So it's like, man, get the help, man. Stick to the fundamentals, dude. We can't be having motherfuckers dying at that rate. 100,000, bro. 100,000. Then it's like, that's how many people are dying. So then you split that continuum out. It's like, how many people are like on the verge of that? There's probably way more. And then it's like, how many people are just kind of shitty and depressed and like feel like they're slowly drifting toward possibly doing that. We're in a sorry state, dude. And I would love to tell people, it's like, this is just my feeling on the situation. No one's going to do this stuff for you, dude. It's like, if you don't buckle down the system and figure stuff out, it's like, dude, like, we're entering kind of a negative wormhole, I think, like on a large scale with all the lockdown stuff, all this and that, and however you want to look at it. Everyone is pretty pissed at what's going on, on both sides of the aisle, but it's like, I'm telling you, man, got to take care of your own health, got to take care of your own finances, because it's like, if you could get fired for X, Y, and Z, if you're worried about your health, and it's like, then stop eating the bullshit, And again, I'm literally telling this to myself as I speak. I'm struggling with this all the time, but it's like, it's the only way forward, dude. Dude, I don't want to hold you guys up too much, but there was that thing, Joe Rogan shared it on his Instagram. He called it like the Kali Yuga cycle. How you've seen it before, where it's like, good times make weak men create bad times create strong men. It's like, we're in bad times, so it's like, don't die from fentanyl, become a strong man, create good times again, and then our offspring will inevitably be spoiled and ruin everything, and then we can go through the cycle. But we've been blessed to be in a bad time cycle, dude. So it's like, let's just beast up, dude. That's my I love it. We just have to beast up. There's no other option.
So what is the goal is there any goal by the end of the year for your physical fitness or your body composition, all that stuff?
So here's the thing. I want to do, you know what? I'm going to keep the same goals. I want to try to run 5 miles, which, that's going to be tough as hell because I have November. But I'm going to shoot for that. Ideally, if I could squeak out 3, get back to baseline of like being able to run 3 miles without stopping, I'm going to try to do that, see where that takes me. I wanted to do 100 push-ups uninterrupted. I could probably do like 50. And the pull-ups got fucked because this part of my arm has been like injured the entire year. I thought it would heal, it never did.
Ooh.
So yeah, I mean, right now, to be honest, I'm gonna just try to set up a system where I'm going to the gym, working out 5 days a week, even if it's just taking like a long walk or like a little jog.
Oh hell yeah, no, absolutely, completely agree with that, dude.
So that to be honest, is I was like, yeah, I'll run fucking 5, and it's like, dude, relax. Go to the gym every day and just fucking break a sweat before you try to run 5 miles. Yep. So yeah, that's the goal, is to kind of like get that system in place. When the new year comes, I'm not like piecing it together. It's just kind of clockwork. So that to answer your question, that's how you just saw how my brain works. I'm gonna run 45, and it's like, no. All right, let's do this. Let's go for this one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I love it, man. Cool. All right, yeah, I'm starting to work on my 2022 goals, so I'll report to you guys what that's looking like. But I'm so fucking pumped. I think taking that break, a few days off, I'm fucking pumped. Oh yeah.
So maybe how about this, dude? For the month of December, we should consider, and float this by whatever you think, Wes, or we can try to figure something out. Maybe for December we'll move to like a Zoom format, and we'll start like try to lay stuff out for everybody. Everyone can lay stuff out together of like. Go through the process of setting all that stuff up. I think that might be useful because it's we're rocking like 13
goal planning session.
Yeah, I think so. If a Monday and Friday we can make it maybe try a Zoom format. There's 13 people. I think that's really manageable, and then start really laying it out. And then we can switch back, and then that way people can be tracking their stuff and like really drag people through the mud on that. I think that might be pretty good. Myself included. Myself absolutely included.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't we? I'm totally down for that. Why don't we try to figure? Because we got a few weeks left. So what are you thinking? Like I'm trying to think of how does this break down. Should we do it in categories? Like Friday is okay. What are everybody's finance goals or health and body goals idea. Or something like that?
Great idea. I think that saves us from an absolute just mess. Yeah, let's do that. We'll pick a topic. So maybe we'll figure it out because Friday is the first, or not. Friday's not the first, but Friday will be the first time we do this in December. Also, I'll be flying, so I'm going to check my flight time. I'm going to make sure I'm going to try to do it on my phone, hopefully in the airport. What was I going to say? So maybe we can figure it out where like we can give people time to think. We'll pick a category in advance, and then it'll be like come to the thing on that. We'll do the same thing, but we'll do a Zoom format, and everyone will have time to like lay out one like dimension of the goal stuff, and we'll do them week by week.
So do you want to shoot for Monday then?
Yeah, let's do that.
So we'll do the normal thing we do on Friday, just like this, and then Monday. Why don't we do? Is everybody cool? Why don't we do finance? Just because that's the first thing that always comes up in my head.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. All right. Fucking sweet.
All
let's
right,
do it, dudes.
All right. Have a good week.